Hi everyone, welcome to this live session called Ask Me Any Stocks. I think some of you have already joined us live in this very session, guys. If you can see and can hear me, guys, just type a one in the chat. So we are kind of like streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook as well. All right, and I have my team here as well to help me out, maybe to give you guys an opinion on some of the stocks that you guys want. So just type a one, guys, type one in chat, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on YouTube. Just want to acknowledge all of you for being early. I think we have like more than 80 of you over here. Thanks for being early. I think some of you have been alerted by email as well from us. Okay, hi Chi-Seng, hi Ah-Hyong, Lee Han, Jen Hong, Dixon, Wee Cham, Dave, Shi-Jie, awesome 111. Thank you so much for being here, right? So let's get started right now. And what happens is that every few months we'll do this live session called Ask Me Any Stocks, right? Ask Me Any Stocks. And I have my team right over here today. And maybe Z and Bervin can just say hi as well. And
Hi everyone. Nice to see everyone. Very familiar names here.
Yeah,
so
hopefully everybody.
Okay, thank you. So Z and Bervin are kind of like mentors of mine. All right, they are helping out with my clients as well as my mentees as well. All right, so they are all expert trainers out there. I brought them here today just to do a little bit something different, whereby they want to also kind of give a little bit of their opinion on some of the stocks that maybe you guys are asking about. All right, so what happens is that in this very session we will do a quick market outlook, right? A quick market outlook, and then we'll go on to cover some of the stocks that you guys are asking about as well. All right, so before we do that, guys, would it be okay if you guys just help me to like and share? All right, there should be a like and share button somewhere. Just hit the like and share button. Help me to share out so that you can reach out to more people. That would be really helpful. Hit the like and share button. All right, and thank you so much. We have Celia over here. Hi Celia, good to see you here as well. Edwin, hi. Good to see you here as well. Hi Dave. Hi to both of them. Thank you so much, Laura, as well. All right, so you can see your comments right on stage just to create a bit more engagement. All right, just to acknowledge all of you as well. Hi Sujia, good to see you as well. Okay, very good. So help me to like and share, guys. That would be really helpful before we officially begin right now this very Ask Me Any Stocks live show. All right, thank you so much. So let me go ahead to see on this YouTube. All right, so I think there's a lot of hearts and stuff. I think there should be some hearts. Let me see, right? Okay, thank you so much, right? So let's go to get started right now and we'll take a look at the market. How many of you want me to cover the market? Just type M for market, guys, if you want me to cover a quick run through of the market, you know, like what's happening over the past few weeks, why are we seeing weakness and all that. Type M for market. All right, M. Okay, very good. So we're going to cover the market later. All right, this is a very quick run through of maybe the S&P 500, maybe the STI. All right, and we'll cover the stocks that you guys are scanning. Some of you are actually typing the name of the stocks that you want a quick opinion. Just hang in there. Later, I'll share you guys the link to type it in, and then we'll do a quick poll on some of the most popular one. I'll pick about 8 popular stocks, and then that is where we will cover your stocks. And at the end as well, I will share with you guys one stock that I like as well that perhaps you could put in your watch list for potentially more upside. All right, so that's pretty much what will happen. So just a quick disclaimer. Whatever that's shared in this live session is all for education purpose only. All right, so nothing, is nothing as a kind of like investment advice and all that. Right, the standard disclaimer that we have to put. Okay, so let's get started right now, and let me pull out my charts regarding the markets. Right, since a lot of you want me to cover the markets, let me go ahead to pull out what we call the S&P 500 index. Right, so let's take a look at it. Okay, so this is the S&P 500 index, and okay, maybe Bervin and Z, you can come on later again. I'll share later. You guys can come on. You can sure. Just like yourself, there's no problem. Okay, very good. So this is the S&P 500 index, guys, and I want to give you guys a quick run through of the markets, right? And essentially, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. I think we have like more than 100 of you joining us. Welcome to this Ask Me Any Stocks live show. All right, Ask Me Any Stock live show. Pretty much we just started, so not to worry. What happens is that we'll go through some of the stocks that you want a quick opinion on. We look at the Singapore market today. All right, good morning. Hi, good morning. SQ, hi, Con. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Aksu. Energize, Yang Zhejiang running now. Well, maybe we'll cover that. All right. Okay, so that is yeah. So what happens is that I'm covering the S&P 500 index right now, one of the most popular index, right? That accounts for the top 500 companies in the US, right? So we are currently trading about 5,399. So before I get started, guys, to share with you the reasons why we are seeing weakness, maybe all of you can help me out as well. What do you think are some of the key reasons why the market has sold off over the past 1 week? Anybody can share with me, guys? What do you think is the reason why the market has sold off over the past 1 over plus week? Good morning, Lean. Hi, good to see you here. Thank you so much. My first time joining you live. Awesome. All right, good to see you here. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the reasons why the market has kind of like sold off over the past week. So I think some of you are saying that due to Trump. Yeah, I think definitely due to that as well. A little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of correction. All right, thank you so much for those who are engaging and typing your answer. All right, correction on the tech stocks. All right, thank you so much, Flo, as well. Let's see, we have profits not good. Yeah, some earnings result that came out slightly below expectation. All right, Lean, you're saying that it is uncertainty over the president. Yes, exactly, a little bit of a political uncertainty. So I think all of you are getting a little bit correct as well. Very good. Cheesing, overbought. Yeah, I mean, a little bit overbought. We are kind of like overextended in terms of the tech sector. Right. So I think all of you are getting very good answers. Right. Mark, a bit of profit taking as well. Thank you so much. So essentially, all of you have mentioned kind of like some of the reasons why we are seeing weakness. So I think if you have been following the news, essentially since like November last year when there were talks about a rate cuts this year, all right, the market really started to rally. We saw a lot of strength in many of those technology stocks, right? And in terms of the Federal Reserve, they actually penciled in about like 3 to 5 rate cuts this year, starting in March, but it got delayed from June. Now it's like July, and then now they're delaying it again. All right, so up to now, there's no rate cuts yet. They have penciled in maybe about 1 or 2 rate cuts, maybe in September, maybe in December. All right, nobody knows for sure, but essentially that is what is the news, right? In terms of the rate cuts, that's kind of like, seeing a lot of momentum pushing up many of those technology stocks. All right, so that is kind of like the news whereby the tech stocks have all rallied, and those mega cap stocks like Meta, Microsoft, Google, Apple, and all that, right, have rallied quite a fair bit, right? More than 20-30% this year. All right, and so right now we're seeing a bit of profit taking whereby there's some funds shifting out away from these mega cap stocks, right? Mega cap stocks away into some of those value plays, some of those small cap plays. So that's kind of like the shift, because it has been a little bit overextended, which I think is healthy as well, because it cannot just go up every single day. We want to see a bit of a pullback, a bit of a retracement, not really a crash, but more like a temporary retracement before we gain a little bit of support again. People start to bargain hunt again, and then we start to see a bit of a rebound up again, or maybe a push even higher. So that's what we're seeing right now, kind of like a temporary retracement, which I think is healthy. All right, it will be a bit scary if it keeps on going higher. All right, but so we're going to see a bit of a retracement somewhere along the line, which is what's happening right now. So you can see this is the S&P 500 index. Right, we saw a bit of a pullback as well. So it was somewhere in March and April by about 6 to 7%, right? So that was what happened somewhere in March. Even in August last year, you can see a bit of a pullback as well. So the market doesn't go up every single day, or like keep on going up non-stop. Along the way, we can also see a bit of a pullback right over here. So that was in August, September, October last year, about 3 months, about a 10-11% downside as well. All right, so now we are indeed seeing for the S&P 500 index a bit of a pullback, about 4-5%. So yeah, haven't really reached like August, September last year, or maybe even April this year yet. All right, there could be potentially a little bit more downside maybe before we find a support level, right? So that is one of the news, right, in terms of mega cap stocks switching out funds into those value plays, those small cap plays, right? And also, I think some of you mentioned about the uncertainty, right? So of course, we had this attempted assassination of Donald Trump as well. Last week, news came out, all right, and we have Joe Biden stepping down as well, Kamala Harris stepping up, right? So a little bit of political changes here and there, right, which of course the market wouldn't like any uncertainty, right? So there's a little bit of that as well, all right, and yeah, I think that would become like the main news affecting the market for now, right? But mainly due to this, what we call interest rate cuts, right? Yes, overextended, it's rallied a lot. Now there might be some profit taking along the way. All right, so this is the S&P 500 index, and let me just look at the cover right now as to what is happening. So in terms of the longer term trend, I've covered it as well, that since last year, right, not just last week or last month, guys, since last year, I would say around like February, March, we already saw the longer term uptrend already turning up, right? In case you're still wondering whether it's in an uptrend, yes, we are already in uptrend since last year, right? Since last year, March, a very, very firm uptrend. You can see March all the way to, it's more than a year, I would say, right? Very strong longer term uptrend. But along the way, doesn't mean that in the short term, we could not sell down. As I mentioned, right, we did actually sell down in July, August, September. Same thing in April, we actually sold down. So in the short term, we can see some weakness or pullback in the short term, while the longer term trend is up. Does it make sense? So right now, we are actually seeing a bit of a short-term weakness, all right, whereby the longer-term trend is still up, right, just by looking at the longer-term moving average. So the red and the blue line, 100 days moving average, and the blue line, the 200 days moving average, they're still pointing up. So longer-term uptrend is still intact as long as we stay above those support levels. I think we are pretty much good to go, right? So the question is that in the short term, right, we can see weakness. To where? I mean, like, how low can we go before we hit a little bit of a support, like what we see over here in April, like what we see over here in October, November, before the rally begin, right? Does it make sense so far? All right, just type F for follow if you guys are still following me so far. All right, and hit the like and share button, guys. I think we have like more than 130 of you joining us. Welcome to this live session called Ask Me Any Stocks. For those of you who have just joined us scrolling through Facebook or YouTube and you are looking at this live stream right now, welcome. All right, essentially we'll be covering the markets right now. I'm doing a quick run through of the S&P 500 index before we look at the stocks that you guys, not me, all right, you guys are asking about. All right, and I will cover the stocks that you guys are asking about, the most popular one, right? So we choose the most popular one and I'll answer it. All right, so thank you so much, FFF. Thanks for following me, Serena. Hi, Con, Doreen. Good to see you here as well. Right, just to acknowledge you guys, you can see that sometimes I'll put your comments right over there. So yeah, this is live, right? So you can see your kind of like your comment over there, even your profile there as well. All right, so thank you so much for those of you who are engaging. Okay, very good. So not to worry, I think some of you are actually typing in the stocks that you want covered later. I will share with you guys the link whereby we do a quick live poll. All right, so let's talk about the S&P 500 index again. And I mentioned that in the short term, we can actually see some weakness. All right, but the question is to where, right? Is it like all the way down to like 4,000 or 3,000 or what, right? Where could the next support actually be? All right, so let's find out right now. So you can see this is the longer term trend. Let me just remove this. And I would say that we have found a little bit of a support somewhere around that 5,400. So that is what we call a temporary support level, because since June, you can see we actually saw a couple of bullish candles coming out, all right, consolidated a little bit above 5,004, started to push all the way up, and we are seeing a bit of resistance, maybe right around the 5,650, right, or 5,660 right over here. That's where we are seeing a bit of a profit taking. So started to retrace back down, and we are back to this temporary 5,400 support level. But you can see, right, yesterday, we are actually attempting to break the 5,400 support level. In fact, yesterday we closed at 5,399. I mean, which is just 1 point below 5,400. So yeah, we are kind of like attempting to break this 5,400 support level if that don't hold, right? So for me right now, I think in the short term, we might potentially see a little bit more weakness, right? Could be up to 1 more week, maybe up to 2 more weeks, all right? But we don't see a little bit of stability near the support level right now, which is, to be honest, not what I'm seeing near the 5,400 support level. So if 5,400 is a support, we're going to see some bullish reversal candle, prices holding above it, you know, and that would be a good sign that, yeah, that is a support level. But right now, you can see that yesterday, as the market closed, we did not have a bullish reversal candle. In fact, we actually got a pretty bearish candle right here for the past 2 days, right? This is what we call something like a bearish Marubozu. It opened close somewhere at a day low yesterday. A little bit of what we call a shooting star, right? Whereby we have a candle with a long upper shadow. It just shows that buyers, push it all the way up. It was a green bar in the morning, and it was like buying up. But then at the day end, sellers came back and pushed the market all the way down. And we closed somewhere at a day low right over here. And in fact, we closed below the 5,400 level. Does it make sense? Right? So not really a support that is holding quite well right now. So we might be seeing a bit of weakness in the short term if we were to break the 5,004. So if 5,004 were to be broken, right, what could be the next support level? So especially for those of you who are kind of like trading the index, right? You trade the S&P 500 index. You buy the SPY ETF or some other ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. Well, that's where you can consider getting in some of those support levels. So the next support level, which I think is a little bit stronger, all right, would be right over here. And that would be around that 5,200 5,200 level right over here. Why? Well, because you can see the 5,200 since like May, it was a bit of a resistance level. We were trading below it, pump, we broke above it. You can see, right? We started to consolidate up a little bit, and in fact we came back down, retested, and we got a bullish candle right over here. So that's a sign whereby, you know, buyers are starting to come back out near that support level, all right? And it's not like 3 days or what that we've been holding above, like the 5,004. For this 5,200 is like about a month whereby we have held above that 5,002. So that's a much stronger support. So I'm not saying that it will definitely go there and then you know, you'll rebound from there, but that is some of the key levels whereby, you know, if we do hit that, right? If we do hit there and we see some bargain hunting, you know, prices holding pretty well, like what we're seeing over here in April, right? April, we started to hit to that support at 5,000. That was a psychological level, right? So we hit to 5,000. You can see right over here, all right? And we saw some bullish candles coming out. It was near the 100 days moving average, and the rebound actually happened, right? So now I don't think, I mean, 5,000 could be the next support if 5,200 would break, right? But as of now, I think 5,200 could be the next potential selling area whereby some bargain hunting can come back again, right? So this is the S&P 500 index, right? Over the past week, we have seen weakness, and potentially we may still see a little bit more weakness, which can be actually a good thing. I mean, if you want to time your entry to get in on the discount on dips near support level, that could, you know, that is what you could do as well, all right? But don't have to rush. I think you want to wait to see a little bit more stability near a support level, like the 5,002. If that is holding quite well, you see some bullish candles coming out, all that can potentially lead to what we call the rebound back up. And that's where you could ride it all the way back up to the same 5,660. That's the resistance level, or maybe to 5,008, or maybe to 6,000, all right? So that is the S&P 500 index, right? So how many of you want me to cover what we call the STI, the Singapore Straits Times Index, right? Type STI, guys. Type STI in the chat if you want me to cover the STI. Type STI in the chat, right? So if you're on YouTube or you're joining us on Facebook Live as well, so we are kind of like streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So let me know. Just type STI if you want me to cover what we call the Straits Times Index. Okay, let's see, right? Thank you so much. We have Wicham STI, Ah Hyong STI, Mei Ping STI. Thank you so much. So just type STI guy in chat if you want me to cover the STI, and if there's like more than 20 of you typing STI, then I may cover. I may just keep this this part. And for those of you who have just joined us, I would really appreciate if you can help me out. There should be some hearts and like button as well. Hit the like and share button or some hearts so that can help us to reach out to a little bit more people. All right, okay, let me see. Right, so just hit the tap. If you're joining us on like Facebook, guys, there's what we call those like heart shape button, right? Just tap the heart shape button. Give me some likes and love. You can see on my screen right here. Thank you so much for those of you who are tapping like. And if you're joining us on YouTube, I'm not too sure whether there's like a heart or like button. That would be really helpful. All right, so hit the like and share button, guys, just to help us to reach out to more people. We really appreciate that. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on right now to the STI, since a lot of you are asking about the STI, Mark STI, Chidong STI, Edwin STI. Okay, let's take a look at the STI right now before we take a look at the stocks that you guys are asking about, right? Okay, so let me go ahead, pull out Straits Times Index, pump. Okay, so this is the STI, Singapore Straits Times Index, at about 3,429, right? So I did a video on YouTube just a couple of weeks back talking about the STI, and I mentioned that it could be a really good bullish move, all right, because we have actually broken one of those very key resistance levels. So what is that level? Well, let me just go ahead to draw this line for you. You can see right over here that 3,400 level. We have been trading below, I would say, for almost 2 years. Look at this right here. We sold all the way down somewhere in August last year. We touched it again, came all the way down. All right, somewhere over here as well. You can see somewhere in 2022, about more than 2 years back as well. We hit it to this level, 3,004 to 3,450. Same thing. We sold all the way down, all the way down. So that 3,400 level, or maybe 3,450, that would be a very critical, I would say, resistance level, whereby if we were to break it, especially if there are signs of an uptrend forming from the trend indicators, we could potentially get out of this 2 years sideways consolidation. All right, so I did a YouTube video on that. All right, and you can see that over the past 2 to 3 weeks, right, somewhere around 3rd of July, right? So today is the 26th of July. So 3rd of July, about 3 weeks back, you can see that we broke that 3,400 resistance level. All right, so that's the first thing. And the thing is that as we broke that 3,400 level, all right, are there signs of an uptrend already forming? Well, the answer is yes. Right, you can see that the longer term trend has also started to turn up just by looking at the 100 days and the 200 days moving average, plus the short-term trend, which was pointing sideways because it was consolidating, has started to point up. Does it make sense? So that's a very good move, right? Just by staying above these 3,400 levels. So this 3,004 will be what we call a new resistance turn support, right? So let me just turn this line to green in color right here. So it's a resistance turn support. And thankfully, it seems like we are still above this 3,400 level. I mean, we are 3,430, right? Which is above 3,004, right? So overall, I would say that it still looks pretty okay as long as we stay above that 3,004. In fact, you can see right over here, we broke 3,004. We came back, retested that 3,004, and we got a doji right over here. That was about 2 weeks back. You can see, right? Went up, came back down, retested, got a doji right at that new support level. And a doji, for those of you who are not really sure about these names or these candlesticks, doesn't matter the names, but essentially a doji is something like a cross. It just shows a tug of war, and especially if you sit near what we call a resistance or maybe a support, so it could potentially lead to a reversal. So after this doji, you can see the next day, all the way up, we started to see that reversal, all right, from that support level. All right, and you can see over the past 1 to 2 weeks, with the US market selling down as well, the S&P sold off, the Dow Jones sold off as well. Of course, STI is not really spared, all right? We have kind of like sold off from that 3,550. So about 3,500 and yeah, I would just say 3,500. That would be like a little bit of a resistance level right over here. So we have sold off from 3,500 level. And right now we are nearing this 3,400, right? So the thing here is that, can we start to see some bargain hunting coming out? Well, as I mentioned, right, 3,400 would be a pretty decent support level because we have held above it for almost 3 weeks. We saw a doji right here. And in fact, just today, in fact, this is like today, Friday, 26th of July. As of now, of course, the market is not closed yet right now. This is live, guys. It's at 10:54 a.m. The market is not closed. But as of now, you can see that we are actually seeing a bit of a candle right over here, whereby we got a long lower shadow. It just shows that buyers, it was pretty bearish just now. The market was like down a couple of points, about 20, 30, 20 over points, all right? And buyers actually came up to push it up, and we are seeing a candle with a long lower shadow. That means in terms of the index right now, 3429. The low today, the low was at about 3,416, all right? 3,416, that was the low today. But you can see right now we are not 3,416, we are 3,429, 3,428, right? Which is somewhere at the high. So buyers are coming out in terms of the market, and we are not like selling down that much already. All right, we are somewhere at near day high. So that's a good thing. It just shows that some bargain hunting could potentially come out near that 3,004 to maybe even that 3,420. So right over here, that is where potentially we can see some upside. So I think in terms of the Straits Times Index, right, it looks a little bit different from the S&P 500 Index, because for the S&P 500 Index, as I mentioned, it's a very strong rally. We broke certain resistance level. They've been pushing higher and higher. The uptrend has formed since last year, as I mentioned, right? So it is a little bit overextended. I mean, a little bit overextended. Of course, along the way, we saw a couple of months of profit taking, and it started to push even higher. That's for the S&P, the US market. But for the STI, you can see that we have not been pushing up every other month since last year. We have been actually consolidating, as I mentioned, since last year. And only just beginning of July, we actually started to see some clear signs of a reversal. I mean, in terms of the uptrend continuing, right? So you can see a little bit different from the US S&P 500 index. Right now, it just could potentially be just the start of the uptrend forming up much firmer, right? As long as we stay above that 3,400 level. All right. So this is what we call the S&P 500 index. All right, and hope you guys are following me so far. If you guys have found some value so far, this type of V, type V for value, guys, if you're following me so far regarding this STI, as to what I'm saying right now, type V for value, you found some value as well. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Yeah, just do me a favor, just type value in the chat or in the comments, all right, if you have found some value so far in today's live show before we talk about the stocks that you guys are asking about as well, all right? Value. Thanks, Dave, Henry, 𝐒𝐐𝐍𝐒. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Duxton. Hi, Ji-Sing. Thank you so much as well. Okay, very familiar faces. Thank you guys for always joining us in our YouTube and Facebook Live. Okay, so let's move on right now, and I will go ahead to cover the Singapore stocks that you guys are asking about. So for those of you who have just joined us, welcome to this live session, right? So essentially what happens is that I'll go ahead to cover some of the stocks that you guys are asking about as well. All right, so okay, sorry, let me just move my mouse. So we have covered the S&P 500 index and even the Straits Times index, and I've given you guys a little bit of an understanding of what has happened over the past few weeks. Why are we seeing weakness? What's the reason? And more importantly, where are we right now? Where could be the next support level be, whereby some bargain hunting can come back again? So we have covered the markets, and right now, for those of you who are joining us, we are going to talk about the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on, right? So let me go ahead to just pull out my the link right now and share it with you guys. So I'm going to do a quick poll right now, and that is the link, right? That is the link that I've shared in the chat, right? Whereby you can take part in this live poll. So I've placed the link in the chat. Let me show you right now. Okay, so this is the link, guys, to take part in the live chat. And what happens, you can see, guys, this is the live chat, live poll right now. And the link is right in the chat, right? Whether YouTube or Facebook, click on the link to join this live poll. Or you can simply scan this QR code at the top left-hand corner, all right, with your phone. And let me know what are the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on, right? So I'll pick, right? So just take a few seconds, guys. Take a few seconds. Go ahead to let me know what are some of the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. Click on the link in the chat, or you can simply scan this QR code, right? Just a few more seconds before we begin. Let's go. So you can see more and more participants participating in this live poll. So for those of you who have just joined us, what happens is, guys, right now we are doing a live poll on this Ask Me Any Stock session. So we're doing a live poll. So let me know what are some of the stocks, the Singapore market, that you want a quick opinion on, and I will choose the most popular one, and we'll do and cover the stocks live. All right, that's simple, very simple. All right, so that is the link. I've placed the link in the chat. Some of you are typing the name, like Andy, you're typing the name in the YouTube or this live stream. So don't type it here because you will not be taking part in the poll. Click on the link, Andy, in the chat, which I've placed, or you can scan this QR code right here to take part in this live poll. All right, so just a few more seconds, guys, before we begin the live poll, and I'll pick the most popular stocks. One stock, one line, submit it, total just 3 stocks. That's it. All right, 40 more seconds. So I'll just give you guys a few more seconds. I think some of you are asking for a little bit more time. All right, and Jim, some of you are actually typing your stocks like Seatrium, Frencken over here. Please do not type in the chat, because if you type in the chat, we are not able to do the live poll. So as you can see right now on my screen, guys, there's 58 more seconds. How to participate in a live poll? Adam, Doreen, right over here, Food Empire, you're typing it on the chat. So go ahead to take part in a live poll. Doreen, Jim, Andy, scan the QR code right here, or you can go ahead to click on the link that I've placed in the live stream, right? Let me place the link one more time. All right, that is the link to join the live poll. All right, that's the link to join live poll. Click on it, and yeah, that is where you type in the stock. Doreen, Adam, Jim, Jared, Andy. All right, I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so just 20 more seconds, guys. 20 more seconds. I think we have like almost 50 of you taking part in a live poll. We have kind of like some of the very popular one. We try to cover them. 13 more seconds, 30 more seconds, guys. Okay, 3 more seconds. Okay, time's up, time's up. All right, very good. So let's take a look. Let me stop the poll right now. Time's up. I think some of you are typing, 6 more participants typing. Okay, guys, just 6 more of you typing, and then that's it. We'll stop the poll. Okay, just submit it, guys. 1 more participant typing. Okay, that's it. 3, 2, 1. Let's kind of like stop the poll. Okay, very good. So let me go ahead to stop the poll right now. Okay, so go ahead, guys. I want to straight away, let's see some of the stocks that you guys are asking right now. So I'll go ahead to take a look at the results. So let me take a look, right? So I think we have, let's see. Okay, we have U96. Let's see, right? So we have quite a bit of so like Frencken, F-R-E-N-C, Frencken. Quite a lot of you asking, more than 20 of you asking. We have UOB, right? UOB as well. More than 10 of you. We have DBS. Seems like a lot of you like the bank as well. So Frencken, OCBC, DBS. We have Samuderashipping as well. And we have SIA, Singapore Airlines. So let me just pick a few stocks, as I say, guys. Later we have more time, we have cover, but I would say right now, based on the top 5 or 6, Frencken, UOB, DBS, Samuderashipping, SIA, number 5. All right, let me pick one more. So number 5 is SIA. Let's see, right? What would be the next one? IFAST, all right? So I think IFAST number 6, IFAST. Let's take a look at it. That's number 6. Okay, let me just pick one more. Let's see. We have okay, so okay, I'm just looking at the vote count. To see right now. Let's see. Sembcorp Industry, next one. Right, that has about more than 7-8 votes. Okay, so let me just repeat, guys. We have Frencken, number 1, UOB, DBS, Samuderashipping, SIA, IFAST, and Sembcorp Industry at number 7. Guys, these are what you guys are asking about. So we are doing a live poll. My apologies if I cannot cover, like, all the stocks here, but we don't have time to cover everything. So this will go on maybe up to like about 12 p.m. Just lunchtime. Before the market close, you can see live prices. All right, and what happens is that yeah, so we try to cover like maybe one more. I'll just pick one more stock. Let's see. I would say maybe we have one more called Seatrium. Seems like Seatrium is right here as well. A lot of you are asking. SEATRIUM, Seatrium. Okay, so hopefully these are the stocks that you guys want. All right, just type Y for yes, or give me a thumbs up. Hit the heart shape button, guys, if I'm saying your stocks that you were guys asking about, right? So number 1, we have Frencken, UOB, DBS, Samuderashipping, number 4. Number 5 is SIA. Number 6 is IFAST. Number 7, Sembcorp Industry. Number 8 is Seatrium. Right? This is based on the poll. Not I say one, guys. Based on the poll you guys taken part in. We can't pick the one that a lot of you are asking about. Just type Y and Y for yes, or give me a heart shape, guys. If that is pretty much what, I mean, hopefully this is what at least got, pick one of the stocks that you asked, because you can ask 3, right? Hopefully you got pick one of it. Make sense so far, guys? Okay, so very simple. So these are the 8 stocks we choose right now, 8 stocks before we go ahead to analyze right now. Okay, and my team will also go ahead to cover maybe some of the stocks as well, all right? Okay, good. So let's go on to the very first one right now. That would be Frencken. So let me go to drag this out right over here and take a look. Frencken, right? Frencken number one, Frencken, F-R-E-C-K-E-N. All right, so let's take a look at it right over here. Okay, good. So let's take a look at Frencken right now. So Frencken in Singapore is one of the tech stocks whereby, it has been a pretty decent longer-term uptrend since last year as well, right? So since like November, October, you can see right over here, we actually saw some signs of the longer-term trend pointing up. All right, so that was around November. You can see we actually started to break what we call a little bit of a resistance right over here around the 120 level. We broke the 120, and there were signs of the uptrend actually forming up much firmly, right? So longer term trends up, we broke the 120, the short term trend was up. You can see we started to rally all the way to 170, right? So from 120 all the way to 170, about 40% upside in about 2 months. All right, and this was one of the stocks that we covered as well when we saw the rally. In fact, I'm not too sure whether some of you are VIP clients of mine in Phillip Securities, but we actually sent out some of those stock ideas, and Frencken was definitely one of them when we actually broke the 120 resistance, right? So for those of you who are not yet VIP clients of mine in Phillip Securities, whereby you're not getting any ideas or updates or training or videos from your own broker. I'm not too sure where you're trading right now, but if you're trading in the Singapore market, I mean, you have a trading account in Singapore and you don't have you don't get any service from your own broker, no ideas, no WhatsApp, you don't even know who your broker is, it's like a hotline or something like that. Make sure you check it out, guys. I'll just place the link in the chat, find out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities, all right, to get some of the ideas much faster, all right, than the time we take to like maybe do a YouTube video and all that. We do share some of those ideas live by WhatsApp daily, right? So I'll just place the link in the chat since some of you are asking me about it. That is the link. Click on it, find out a little bit more as to how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities for free. Yeah, for free. No additional charge, just to be 100% clear, right? You do not pay anything more. It's pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you're trading, all right? But the key here is that, I mean, whether your broker is doing anything. So if it's not doing anything, check it out, all right? And that is the link to find out. But I think a lot of you are clients. This type C for clients, I think if you are a client of mine in Phillip Securities, just help me this type of C for client, guys. For those of you who are already a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities and you're getting those ideas daily and all that, just type C for client so that I know some of you, how many of you are clients over here, or maybe you might be just scrolling YouTube and Facebook and you have no idea who am I and stuff. Type C for client. If those of you are client over here, thank you so much. I think we have quite a few of you who are clients. Dave, 𝐒𝐿𝐤, Dixon, C, SU. All right, so great. Those of you who are clients are probably receiving some of those ideas. Celia, thank you so much for support. Edwin, thank you so much as well. Huiling. All right, very good. So you are probably receiving some of those ideas by WhatsApp. So I'm just share with you to those of you who are not yet a client of mine. Check it out. The link is right there in the chat. How you can become one so that you will not miss out on some of the ideas that we share by WhatsApp. All right, so let me go back to Frencken. For those of you who are asking about Frencken, here it is right now. You can see that we have pushed all the way up, as I mentioned, to 170. So 170 is a very, very critical resistance level. Why? Because you can see 170, we have touched like 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, all right, we come like near it, and then we are pushing away from the 170, right? So in fact, I've set some alerts whereby if we were to break the 170, right? So anything like 172, 174, we can set our alerts right over here. I will be notified, and that's where it will be a good thing. We can potentially see targets being revised to 180 to $2. That is what can happen if we were to break 170, right? But the truth here is that, well, we went to 170 again. It did not happen. The short-term trend started to turn down. You can see the 20 days moving average line, right? So we look at what we call the 20 days moving average line, which started to slope down, all right? You can see, so same thing here, is starting to slope down. Something like what we're seeing over here. So it sloped down, down, down. Same thing, we are sloping probably down, down, down again. And then maybe start to flatten out again, all right? And then we may start to see that reversal happening again. So the question is, where can we potentially see some bargain hunting, right, coming back again? Where could we potentially rebound from? Well, let's find out, right? So you can see right over here, let's take a look at the support level. So I mentioned 120 would be a very key support level, well, because it was the resistance level that we have traded below since 2022, 2023, last year, right? We have traded below it, pump, we broke above it. Now this resistance will turn into a new support. Does it make sense? All right. But over the past like 4 to 5 months, it seems like not even 120, we may have found a slightly higher support, maybe around that 125, all right, around 125. You can see, right, the support has become slightly higher. That was in January. In February, we rebounded. Even in May, when we sold off, we saw a couple of bullish candles right over here, near 125. Does it make sense? So not really 120, it's like 125 people are starting to come out to buy already. All right, 125 to 130. You can see started to see that reversal all the way to 170. Of course, now we are coming back down again, right? So 125, 130, I think that is potentially where we might start to see some bargain hunting coming out right over here. So you can see here to here, This is here and maybe somewhere over here. So I'm not saying that you will definitely go back to like 125 for you to buy, and then you will buy and then you can go back up to like 170 and you can sell. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that from the charts, right, based on what has happened over the past 4 to 5 months, right, we can potentially see some bargain hunting there because that was where we rebounded from, right? And the next thing is that was where we also saw some bullish candles. So if we were to hit there, right, it's only 2 days, guys. You can see now it's 135. So we are like a little bit far from the 125 to 130, but you can see there is a little bit of a bargain hunting coming back out already, right? You can see past 2 days is a little bit of what we call a spinning top, right? Whereby there could be some reversal signals over the past 2 days, Thursday and Friday. So this is today. You guys can see this is today right now, right? So Thursday, Friday, okay. But if you ask me from like last Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, not good. Okay, it's pound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red bars. Not good. All right, that's where you can see we are pushing away from the 170 resistance. And when that happened, you can see, as I mentioned, right, the 20 days moving average line started to slope down, right? So not good, right? From last Thursday to Wednesday, not good. But for the past 2 days, you can see it changed a bit. You can see for the past 2 days, okay, all right, okay, in terms of some bargain hunting coming out, where we're not seeing like a very bearish bar like all the way down. We are seeing some form of bargain hunting. It seems like we may have found a bit of a support, right? And you can see it kind of like tallies with right over here, pretty much near that same 125, 130 level, whereby some bargain hunting is coming out. All right, so that is for Frencken. All right, overall, I would say that in the short term, we are still not out of the woods yet. We can potentially see some weakness, but we are potentially heading towards this zone from 125, 130, maybe near 120 as well. That hopefully we can see some stability and maybe a potential reversal, especially when the 20 days moving average line starts to reverse back up. That could lead that reversal in the short term all the way up to that $1.70, same resistance level. Of course, when it hits to 170, you want to take some profit, you want to sell some, it's up to you. I think nothing wrong as well, because as I mentioned, that is where we have seen selling over the past 3 to 4 months, right? So if it does hit here again, nothing wrong. You can take some profit, get out. But if 170 resistance will be broken, we may see a next higher upside. All right, so that is for Frencken. For those of you who are asking about Frencken, I hope you have a better idea of where we are right now. So I think longer term trend is up. In the short term, we are actually seeing a bit of weakness. We have not seen some stability yet. It's just 2 days of it coming out. But if more days coming out, we stabilize above 125 to 120 or even 130, great. That could be a good thing that could lead that reversal up. All right, so that is for Frencken. All right, so that's stock number 1. How many of you want me to cover basically stock number 2? Right, this type 2, guys, in the chat. If you want me to cover stock number 2, and go ahead, guys, to hit the like button, share as well. That will really help out for those of you who are joining us right now. Welcome to this Ask Me Any Stocks live show. You can see right here, we started at 10:30 a.m. I've done a quick market outlook. So in case you missed any parts or whatever was, we did a quick market outlook on the S&P 500 index, even the STI. So if you miss any part, you can take a look at the replay on YouTube or on Facebook as well, where we're streaming live on both platforms. All right, and that's pretty much what we covered. And now we are going through the stocks that you guys asked me just now. All right, we did a live poll. In case you guys didn't know, we did a live poll for those of you who are new, and I picked up 8 stocks, and the 8 stocks will be Frencken, UOB, DBS, Samuderashipping, SIA, IFAST, Sembcorp Industry, and also Seatrium. So I've covered the first one, which is Frencken. Let's move on to number 2. All right, right now, thank you so much. We have a 2 mark 2. So let's move on to number 2, the second stock, and that would be what we call UOB, right? UOB is number 2. Let's take a look at UOB. Where is UOB? Singapore UOB Bank, right? Let's take a look at it. Okay, so this is UOB right over here, right? At about 32.18, right? 32.18. So pretty strong, uptrending stock as well. I would say we have broke some of the key levels since March, April. I'll talk about it soon, but I've covered the banks as well in my YouTube channel as well. We talked about the Singapore banks a couple of weeks back. So you can see that for this UOB, there was this very critical resistance level right over here. That is called $29, right? So this $29, if you have been following me, right, I mentioned in the previous YouTube video as well, we have been trading below it since 2022. Look at this, right? Touch, come down, come down, come down, come down, right? And then come down, right? It's like for 2 years, or more than 2 years, right? In fact, more than 2 years. We have been trading below that $29, right? $29, right? We just couldn't get above it, right? It's just like what we call a very firm resistance level. But while we were trading below this $29, you can see that there were actually some signs of the uptrend forming, right? Just by drawing what we call an upward sloping channel support line, right? In fact, you don't need to draw it. You can see that we've been forming what we call higher lows, right? Higher lows, I would say, since like 2022, just by looking at this upward sloping channel support line. So very gentle uptrend while we were capped below that $29 resistance level. All right, does it make sense? All right. So the question is that if we were to break that 29, of course, we shared a note as well with our clients on that. As I say, but by the way, guys, as I say, those of you who want to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp, if you are not yet a client of mine, so we actually shared on like UOB and even some of the banks as well. That is the link to check it out again. All right. If you're not a VIP client of mine, if you're not getting my WhatsApp daily on some of my top Singapore trade ideas, the link is right in the chat. Check it out, especially if you have a trading account and you're not getting any service from your own broker. You don't know who he is, don't get any ideas of WhatsApp or videos or training, nothing. Check it out, right? The link is right there, right? So right over here, you can see that we actually finally broke that $29. Of course, a note was sent out to my clients in Philip Securities as well. My mentees and students were notified as well. And awesome, right? Uptrend started to push higher. We broke the resistance. And you can see we started to push all the way up, up, up. Consolidated below that $31 for about maybe 2 months, and pump, right? When the bank started to push up, we let the STI index higher. You can see we broke that 31 again, of course. So now this 29, let me just turn it to green color. So 29 would be a support level, but it seems like the support has gone higher to 31 right over here, right? So that is green in color. And let's take a look at where we are. So today we are at 32.19. Look at this right here, 32.19. So this Friday, guys, this is live. You can see 32.19. A little bit of resistance. Let me go to draw this right over here. I think somewhere around that $33.30. Yeah, somewhere over here, $33.30. You can see past 2-3 weeks, seems like we cannot get above that level. So that's a resistance level. That's where we may see some profit taking again, right? But what about the support level? Well, we may see some support right over here at around that 32. So 32 is a very, I would say, temporary mini psychological support level. All right. Why? Because yeah, we actually broke above it. It's like one day that we stayed above it for the past, like, I would say 1 over a month. We have been trying to hold above that 32 level, right? But it's not a very firm support. It's a mini support, right? Compared to that $31 right over here. Quite wide, because you can see 31 quite clearly. It was a very firm resistance that we touched, came down for 2 months. We were below 31 and finally we broke it, right? So this resistance that is very firm can potentially turn into a very firm support level. So that's the reason why 31 would be a much stronger support than 32. So I'm not saying that it will go to 31, guys, but basically, all right, if it were to go to 31, all right, that is, I mean, in terms of the bargain hunting or some buying pressure coming back, it will be potentially more than 32, because just by looking at the past prices, we have seen some, very heavy resistance, which will now be a very heavy support. So potential entry, I would say, could be anywhere near 31 to 32. I think that, I mean, right now it seems like 32 is holding, right? So I can see, guys, a little bit of a bearish candle today. So I'm not too sure whether that breaks. If that breaks, maybe have a little bit more bullets to maybe getting near 31. I think, as I say, that 31 would be slightly more, a much stronger support level, All right, so that's for UOB. All right, okay, so let's move on. I hope you guys get a better understanding of UOB. So that's pretty much Frencken. We have covered number 1. Number 2 is UOB. So let's move on to stock number 3, which will be another bank that you guys were asking about as well, which is DBS, right? Just type DBS, guys. Type DBS in chat. If you're one of those who want me to go through DBS, type DBS in the chat, right? Type DBS. Let's move on to stock number 3, right? So we are going on to DBS right now. So for those of you who are just joining us, guys, we are going to cover what we call, we have covered Frencken, we have covered UOB, all right, and now we are looking at DBS. Number 3, number 4 is Samuderashipping, number 5, SIA, IFAST, Sembcorp Industry, and Seatrium. So I hope these are the stocks that you guys will asking about. And in case you don't know what I mean, for those of you who have just joined us, essentially what happens was just now, all right, it's over, guys, but just now we did a live poll and we actually picked some of the stocks that you guys were asking about. So we have covered like Frencken, DBS is the next one. We have like IFAST, SIA, Samuderashipping. So I kind of like, did a tally on the poll and we are going to cover it right now, all right? Oops, sorry. So let's go ahead to take a look at it right now. And we will take a look at DBS. So maybe we have Z, all right? Z, maybe you can cover DBS. So Z is one of my team, one of my mentors as well, all right? That's sharing some ideas as well. So Z, maybe you can go ahead to cover DBS. Let me go ahead to put Z screen.
Okay.
You go ahead, the mic is yours, if you can go ahead.
Okay, I hope everybody can hear me because this is me and Bervin's first time doing live, so I hope that there's no technical issues here. So if you guys can see my screen and you can hear me properly, maybe you can just type okay, just to let me know in the chat as well. Just type okay if everything is good on your end. Okay. So for DBS, okay, so let's move on. For DBS, when we look at the chart, right, I believe when you are looking at Joey's analysis, we don't really scroll very far back, to see like many years ago, right? So max, maybe you can scroll about like 2023. And for DBS right over here, we can see that, for DBS, it has kind of like been going sideways for the past 2023 to 2024. And one of the key resistance level back then was at about this 33 level, right? This 33 level right here, whereby we saw that, price tested it and then retraced, came back down, and then right over here tested it again before it actually break above this 33 psychological resistance level, right? And then subsequently it became a support level, right? Once it break, it became a support level. So right now it's green. And over here, we can actually also see that, right, the longer term moving average, the red and the blue line over here has also started to point up to give more confirmation to the trend itself, right? Because previously, right over here, when we saw that, let me just highlight it for you. When we saw that, the green line, which is the 20 days moving average over here, is actually pointing up, but the longer term moving average is actually still kind of like heading sideways, right? So there is no alignment in terms of the short term and the longer term trend yet. But right over here, somewhere in April 2024, that's when we actually see confirmation when the candlestick actually broke above this $33 resistance level when it became a support. And also that the moving averages, the red and the blue line right over here, it actually also started to point up, right? It started to point up. And then subsequently, price actually headed higher and it actually hit a resistance somewhere around this 36 level, right? And that's where we actually saw some consolidation happening over here, right? So price actually consolidated. Let me just zoom in a bit more. Oops. Okay, so price actually consolidated within this range at about 35 to 36 for a couple of months, right? From like, somewhere in May all the way to July, between this range, which is the 35 to 36 level. And that's where we also see that, the 20 days moving average, which is for the short-term trend, right, is actually going sideways. But if we focus on the long-term trend, does the long-term trend still look good? It still look good, right? Because both are actually still pointing up, correct? Both are still pointing up. And eventually, somewhere in June, probably just about a month back, we actually saw price broke above this 36 level, right? And then that's where it actually became a support. And if over here, we actually see, price actually headed higher and somewhere around 38 to maybe 38.50, somewhere around this zone, that's where some selling pressure actually starts to return, right? And that's where we actually see price start to retrace. And right now, as of today, we actually see a quite bearish candlestick lah, because, price actually opened somewhere around 36.64, and then right now it's somewhere around 36.27, right? So it's quite a long bearish candle over here. But so some of you might be asking, right? So in terms of like entry, where are some of the potential entries that you can consider to enter? I would say, let me just draw it for you. I would say somewhere right over here, somewhere right over here would be actually a good potential entry, because why? It's actually near the support zone. And because of the fact that the longer term moving averages are still up, so this would be a good time to actually accumulate, because always remember Joey said it's good to accumulate near the support zone, right? So this would be somewhere where, you know, some of you can consider to actually accumulate on the dips, because the longer term trend is actually still up. All right, so but on the other hand, because we would not know whether the price will actually hold above, right? Because we are not fortune tellers. If you were to ask me, oh, will the price close below 36 today? I'm not sure, right? But if prices were to actually unable to hold above this 36, right, what we might potentially see is actually a consolidation happening between this consolidation range again, like what we see here over the past 3 months. So potentially we could see price moving sideways. If prices are unable to hold above 36, it could be moving sideways along this range right over here. But in terms of the longer term trend, if prices actually were to consolidate here, would the trend still look good in the long term? I would say it's decent. It's decent because the longer term trend are actually still heading up. Unless we actually see, you know, the longer term moving average, right, actually starts to point downwards, then that point sideways first and then start to point downwards, right? That's where we potentially might have a trend reversal. But as of now, there's no signs of that yet. Longer term trend is still up and everything is still looking good. All right. So if potential entry would be like mentioned, maybe somewhere can set the price alert around here to actually accumulate on the dips. And in terms of resistance, or maybe, you know, can consider to take some partial profit, that would be around this 38 to maybe 38.50 level. That's where some selling pressure can actually return. All right. So yeah, I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Thank you so much, Z. All right, great. Yeah, pretty much what I want to say as well. All right, thank you so much for sharing. How many of you have got it? I mean, in terms of what Z has shared. Just type Y for yes, guys. You felt that pretty useful as well. All right, pretty much what I want to mention as well. I think Z has pretty much covered some of the key points in terms of the key support and resistance. Right, type Y for yes, guys, if you have managed to get it as well. Before we move on to the next stock. All right, so Z has covered like DBS stock number 3. Let's move on to stock number 4, and that would be back to me as well, right? We cover like Samuderashipping right over here. Let me just share my screen. Okay, good. So that is my screen right now, and we are stock number 4, all right? And that would be Samuderashipping, which I think we have like more than 20 over votes asking for Samuderashipping. So let's go to cover it right now to see if there could even be more upside or maybe even more downside. All right, so let's take a look at it. You can see this is Samuderashipping at about 0.995. Right, so before I talk about where we are, let me just do a quick recap of what has happened for Samuderashipping since maybe last year. Right, so for last year, you can see that we were actually in a pretty firm downtrend. Right, just by looking at this, right, just by looking at what we call the lower highs, we can draw what we call a downward sloping channel resistance. So for those of you who have been following my training, whenever you see prices being like that, right? I mean, just going down and then you form lower highs, you go down, touch, rebound and go down more, rebound a bit, go down more. It's a downtrend, right? We try not to buy in a downtrend because you just go down from like, you can see $1 go down until 50 cents, right? So we don't want to buy in a downtrend. So that's what happened for Samuderashipping, right? So fast forward somewhere around beginning of the year, this year, or end of last year, in fact, we actually broke above that channel resistance level, all right? And so we started to see a little bit of a consolidation higher. So that's where actually we covered this stock, Samuderashipping as well. We alerted our VIP clients in it. VIP clients in Philip Securities by WhatsApp as well. And I'm sure some of you who are my clients got it as well. And we started to see that reversal all the way up from like about 50, 60 cents all the way to about about $1.05, about a 70% upside. All right, so that was a very good move as the trend started to turn from down to up. All right, so let's take a look at right now whether we actually draw another line right here. So that's what we call a channel support line, whereby we have turned from a downtrend to an uptrend. Instead of lower highs, now we are finding higher lows, right? And you can see this is what we call higher lows, rebound even more, came back down, rebound even more, right? And we're still kind of like above this upward sloping channel support line. So in terms of the longer term trend, I would say that we are still in a, I would say, okay uptrend. We're still in an okay uptrend in the longer term, all right, just by looking at the channel support line. So let me just go ahead to remove all this drawing, all right, and now to keep it simple, you can see right over here as well, we got more confirmation somewhere in April whereby the 100 days moving average line has crossed up above the 200 days moving average line. So that was where we started to see a little bit of a confirmation, all right, of the longer term uptrend, right, taking shape, right, and firming up, and then potentially we can hit even higher, all right. So as you can see, we started went up, and over the past 2-3 weeks, we have found some resistance level. So let me go ahead to draw this resistance level. So that would be around that $1 to 105, right? Look at this right over here, guys. You can see that somewhere around 2023, right, over here. Same thing, we hit it to there, started to sell down. So you can see right here, we touched, we came down. One more time, we touched, we came down. So I think about $1 and 5 cents, or to keep it simple, 106, 107, I think right over here, just to give it a little bit of a specific, all right, 106, 105, that is potentially where we can see some heavy selling coming back again, all right? So you can see the 20 days moving average line, the short-term trend has point up, flatten out, and you can see right now it is starting to point down, right? So a little bit of a weakness, right? I would say in the short term, we are not yet out of the woods in terms of the short-term trend, which is still slightly pointing down, right? But the point here is that even though the short-term trend is pointing down, we may have found a support based on what we have seen over the past 2 to 3 weeks. Where would be that support? Well, right over here, I think somewhere around that 90 cents. 90 cents, you can see right over here. If I've drawn this line, that was where we were holding somewhere in May, about 2 months back. Same thing, we sold off a couple of bullish candles coming back. And we went up, came back down. You can see we are still above. So 90 cents could be kind of like a potential support level right now, whereby we have been holding since May, right? So I would say almost like 3 months, we'll be holding above that 905 level. And that is potentially where some bargain hunting can come back again, right? So what you can do right now is that, as I mentioned, that there could be a bit of short-term weakness because the 20 days moving average line, as I mentioned, it is still slightly sloping down. But if it starts to flatten out, right, it just shows that at least we may have find some stability in the short term. That could be a good entry as well, right, near the 90 cents to get in on dips. Or maybe even better if you spot some bullish candles right over here near 91, 92, 93. If you spot these bullish reversal candles, all that can give a bit more confirmation in terms of that reversal all the way to 105. And of course, if 105 or 106 or 107 would be broken, even better, that is where the longer term uptrend can continue even higher, maybe all the way to like 125 to 120. That will be the next phase of the upside. All right. So I think right now we are still seeing a bit of short-term weakness. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. I mean, the support is still holding. The longer-term trend is still up. Just that in the short term, yeah, we are seeing some sort of a selling. All right. So which can actually be an opportunity as well. All right. Especially if you know when to get in at some of those support levels. Number 5 would be SIA. All right. Just type 5, guys. Type 5 in the chat if you want me to move on to stock number 5. And that would be SIA. SIA type 5 for SIA. And let's move on to stock number 5. So I'm pretty much covering the stocks that you guys were asking about just now. We have covered Frencken right here, number 1, UOB as well, DBS here as well. We have covered Samuderashipping, pretty popular. And now we're going to SIA right in the center. A lot of you asking, more than I think 10 of you asking as well. Right, so that type 5 in the chat. We move on to SIA. So let me just pull out SIA right now. Singapore Airlines. Where is it? Let me see, right? Okay, so where is Singapore Airlines? Let me just see Singapore Airlines over. Okay, never mind. I'll just put it out from my watch list. No worries. Okay, there we have it, guys. This is SIA, Singapore Airlines, right over here at about $6.98. All right, so thank you so much, Patrick, SIA. Let's see, right? SIA, the now 5, 𝐁𝐎𝐿, SIA. All right, very good. So let's go ahead to cover what we call Singapore Airlines, SIA right now. All right. And would it be okay, guys, if you guys hit the like and share button as well? All right, hit the like and share button. Hit the like and share button. If you have found some value so far, just to support the channel a bit, all right, that will be really helpful to the YouTube channel. Hit the like and the share button. All right, thank you so much. Hit like and share button, or there's some heart shape button as well. Go ahead to hit the like and share button. Thank you so much. So I think there's some like a heart shape. Right, I can see right over here on my screen. Thank you so much for those of you who are hitting the like shape button and the heart shape button. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to SIA, Singapore Airlines. Let's move on right now. Okay, so I can see a lot of heart shape flying up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those of you who have hit the heart shape button. That will really help out the channel, all right? Okay, so this is SIA, $6.98. So for SIA, what happens is that over the past like 2 weeks, right, we have breached what we call a very key resistance level. So let me just show you what I mean, right? So this was the very key level I've drawn previously. It's a $6.60, right? Past week, since May, okay, past 2 months, I would say, right? $6.60 was actually a very firm resistance level, right? Look at this, right? We were actually trading below it in February this year, March as well, April, and finally, right, we went above that $6.60. So that was the first sign of strength. All right, first sign of strength in terms of the consolidation, moving up to a higher consolidation. So we're below 660. Look at this, right? For 2 months, we broke above 660. Now 660 would be a new support level. So let me turn it to green in color. And you can see when we broke 660, right, the 20 days moving average line, the green line, which represents the short-term trend, started to point up. All right. And it started to point up a bit more, flatten a little bit, and now it point up even more. All right. And now maybe it's like flattening out a bit. All right. So we have pushed higher just by breaking above that 660 resistance level, which would be a support level. So now that we have pushed up to near $7, let's see if we can have found maybe a higher support level. So I think right over here, we can see that we may have found another support. Right, it used to be $7, a very, I would say, mini psychological support level, but 690, you can see that was where we touched, came down. Same thing over here. In May, we came down, all right, attempted to, came back down again, all right, and we are right over here. So about $6.90, that would be kind of like the range right now in terms of the support level. So 690 all the way to maybe about $7.50, right? So I think for SIA, overall, it looks quite good, as you can see, right? In terms of the longer term trend, moving averages are pointing up, the red and blue line pointing up. The green line, the 20 days moving average, as I mentioned, was up, flat, up. Now maybe it's flattening out, which is normal, all right? So when the 20 days moving average line were to be flattening out, it just means that in the short term, we are back to some sideways consolidation. All right, so it's fine. It just shows that we are just consolidating at a higher level. As you can see, right, we were pretty much consolidating below 660. Pump. We are consolidating higher. Pump. Now we are consolidating higher again. Does it make sense? And of course, pump. We break 715, then we might be consolidating higher. So that's what we call a healthy uptrend. We want to see some sideways consolidation in the short term before breaking that resistance to push higher to the next phase. Does it make sense? All right, so we are seeing a bit of consolidation right now in the short term. I would say somewhere above 690, right? So you want to be only careful. You want to be careful if, all right, I'm not saying this will happen, but when then we want to be careful. Well, if we were to break that support level, like for example, this 660, right? If we were to break below it, I'm not saying we'll break, right? But if we were to break below 660 and if you were to break below 690, right, this support level that I've drawn, and if the 20 days moving average line were to start to slope down, then not so good. That is when in the short term, we may start to see weakness. We may potentially push back to the $6.60 support level, right? But if we don't see that, then it's still okay, right? That this $6.90 support will still likely hold. You guys follow so far? Just type F for follow if you guys are following so far. So I think the range right now is quite clearly from $6.90 all the way to $7.15, right? Type F for follow, right? Type F for follow if you guys are following me so far on this stock called SIA, whereby we are actually in a bit of a sideways consolidation in the short term, all right? And the longer term trend is still up for now, which is okay, all right? Okay, FFF. Thanks, Dixon. Andy, thank you so much. For those of you who are just scrolling through Facebook or YouTube and you're joining us live, thank you so much for joining us in this Ask Me Any Stocks live session. Pretty much, this is a session whereby I've covered some of the stocks that you guys are asking about. And at the end of it, later, guys, I will share with you one stock that I like as well. So make sure you stay all the way to the end because I'm going to share with you after covering your stocks. I'll share with you one that I like. All right. So if you want to watch that stock as well, I think it's not too bad. All right. So stay all the way to the end. Okay. So let's move on to stock number 6, right? Number 6. And that would be IFAST, right? IFAST, right? IFAST is one of the stocks that a lot of you were asking about. Hit the heart shape button. Hit the heart shape button, guys. Help me out. Hit the heart shape button so that we can see some love flying around your screen. Thank you so much. Hit the heart shape button. Share as well. Share so we can reach out to more people before we cover this stock called IFAST. And for IFAST, guys, very simply, we will have one of my team, one of my mentors as well, Bervin, who will be covering on IFAST. Let me go ahead to put Bervin's screen. All right, Bervin's screen on the stage right now. So Bervin, take it away. This is IFAST. Go ahead to share on IFAST, guys. I hope you guys can take away something on IFAST. Bervin, yours.
Yeah. Hi everybody, hopefully you all can hear me. I think Joey knows that I've been monitoring IFAST for quite a bit recently. So yeah, I think that's why he threw the ball to me. So okay, so this is what just happened because I understand some of you had just sold some of it yesterday, but actually earnings actually came out yesterday for this counter. Earnings was fantastic. Dividends has increased. I put a bit of a small note here for those of you who actually want to take a look. Okay, profits have increased over 300%. Customer deposits has also increased by over 80%. So as a fintech company or fintech platform, this is what the company wants to happen. With more customer deposits, with their wealth management business continuing to grow. That's why you see actually the price actually opened higher today after yesterday's earnings announcement. But at the end of last year, shall we look at the end of last year first. Previously, prices were kept under this $6 psychological support, psychological resistance level, as you can see. All right. And it's been testing that for multiple times before finally breaking above in November of last year, where it pushed a multi-year high of towards about 8.5, where this $6 eventually became the support level right now. All right. So, but in the near term wise, if we focus in a bit, we'll actually see that there's actually a bit of resistance right here. About the 770 level thereabouts, where actually we saw, prices previously was actually previously a support, all right? Before prices broke below, and then now it tested it twice, and we are finally approaching this level once more again. All right, so with that being said, do you think that this 770 level can be broken? Hard to say. I will not be able to tell you, but based on today's bullish candlestick, it looks like there may be a chance that this 770 level could be tested maybe next week, because today is Friday already. Next week could be testing this 770 level. And if this 770 level is broken, where would we go to? I would say the next resistance level would be around this 850 level, where previously you saw, bit of profit taking that came in, actually pushed the prices back down again. But what's a good sign of this is that the 100 days moving average is currently also sloping up. Although, the 200 days moving average is still sloping up, which means the longer term uptrend is still pretty much intact. And if you want to know why we feel that the longer term uptrend is still intact, as you can see that, okay, if you draw just a trend line right across this, you'll actually see that the prices are actually forming what we call higher lows. Okay, so this is actually a good sign where actually if prices or where actually sellers come in, there are actually buyers that actually come in to defend the prices at these levels, forming various support levels as well along the way up. So this is actually a good sign for the company or for those of you who are actually looking to hold on to this counter. Yep, I say right now the long-term uptrend is still intact. You can continue to hold on to it. But the key level to take note would be the psychological $7 support if it's once again broken. Let me just clear this up to make it a bit neater. Okay, So at the $7 support, if this $7 support is broken, yes, maybe that's when you can see, a bit of a downside come in for this counter once more. A bit of weakness that can come back in. But for those of you who are looking to actually buy or looking to actually accumulate for your position, where would be a good level to buy? I think the first level to look at would be also at this $7 level, where if prices retrace towards this $7 level and the trend remains intact, this is where you can actually consider to get in for a bit, by accumulate on the dips, or if you're a bit more aggressive and you would like to get in on the breakout, if the prices is able to break and hold above. The key point here is to hold above the 770 level. Maybe that's when you can see upside momentum that could bring the counter or bring this back up to about the 850 level, where you can expect a bit of selling to come in. Otherwise, if this 770 is still pretty much intact, we maybe see like a sideways consolidation, very very similar to what had happened since March, also a longer time frame. Right, so on both ends, I would say this counter is still rather bullish on this counter, you can say, but you still have to take care of the downside. All right, so that's it for me for IFAST.
All right, thank you so much, Bervin. All right, same sentiments as well on IFAST. So as mentioned, guys, I think Bervin has mentioned as well on this IFAST, the very key resistance level that we have been staying below for, I would say, 4 or 5 months, the $7.70. So if we were to, signs of an uptrend, very gentle uptrend, and if we were to break that 770, so if we go to like 771, 72, 75, 74, above 770, right? Good. That is where potentially we may start to see a little bit more upside. Targets could be revised higher all the way to that previous resistance at about the $8.50. All right, so that is for IFAST. Thank you so much, Bervin. All right, so let's move on to the next stock that you guys were asking about, stock number 7, and that would be Sembcorp Industry. Let me just go type it out, Sembcorp Industry. So very quickly, guys, we've gone on for almost like more than an hour already. So Sembcorp Industry, right over here. And let's take a look, right? Okay, so you can see this is Sembcorp Industry, and we are currently trading at about $4.66, right? $4.66. So you can see right now that we have broken, in terms of this support level, the $4.80. So 480 was actually a very key support level that we've been holding above since like November last year. Look at this, right? November last year, we rebounded. In fact, in July, right, just beginning of the month, we actually attempted to stay above it, but it didn't happen. We broke down the $4.80 support level. So not a good thing. So whenever you break a support level, and that's one thing, if you break the support level and you look up and you can see, guys, right now that the 20 days moving average line is sloping down, right? So the short-term trend is down for now, all right, with prices below this 20 days moving average. So I would say that we might still see a bit of weakness in the short term. You don't want to rush to get in because the short-term trend is down. Even for the longer-term trend, we are starting to look a little bit shaky. I mean, it's not really like a firm down trend kind of thing, but looking a little bit shaky, whereby potentially we might start to turn from longer-term uptrend, right? Since like 2 years back, the red and the blue line has been above each other, red above the blue, to a bit of a sideways and now potentially turning down. So not saying that it will turn down, but some signs of weakness in terms of the longer term trend maybe turning down. All right. So the key here is that where can we potentially hit to, and that would be like a bargain hunting zone whereby some bargain hunting or buying pressure can come back. Well, I've drawn it right over here. So you can see that would be around the $4.40. You can see it right over here. That was where we rebounded. We held above it last year as well in May, more than a year back. So that was where we kind of like held above for about 2-3 times, rebounded around 440 to 450. So don't have to rush, right? So it doesn't mean you will go back to there, but essentially that was where we have rebounded before last year. And when we were to see the 20 days moving average line start to reverse back up there, that could be an indication whereby buying pressure can come back, right? Like for example, now the 20 days moving average line, as I say, is still stopping down. So if we to like go down, and then 1 fine day it starts to reverse back up like what we saw over here, and plus we hit to that support that we have drawn, the 440 to 450, but that could be an indication whereby we might start to see that reversal, all right, back up in the short term, all right, and maybe all the way to like $5 to $5.50. That could be the resistance level. So resistance wise, maybe somewhere over here. I think that is potentially where we can see some selling, about $5.50. That's where we just have seen selling previously, about $5.50 after $5.50, maybe to that $5.80. Yeah, right over here. That's where we have seen selling happening again. All right, so that is what you could look out for in terms of getting in there to rush, because as I mentioned, the short-term trend is still down. We only want to wait until at least the short-term trend just stop pointing down, at least stabilize a little bit. All right, so that is for Sembcorp Industry, right? Still weak for now in the short term. Let's move on to the stock number 8, and that will be very quickly Seatrium. All right, Seatrium, SEATRIUM. Where is it? Right over here. I think a lot of you were asking about it as well. All right, so quite clearly, this is Seatrium, and about $1.51. So I think quite clearly, all of you can see that this is a bit of a downtrending stock. We will never, buy stocks like this. First of all, why? Because you are kind of like going against the trend, because you can see, right? We can draw what we call lower highs. We can draw a downward sloping channel resistance line. So as long as we stay below this red line, which we are still below, right? It's still a bit of a downtrend, all right? So you never know how low it could go. I mean, we could just, like extend this line and then like this, right? So you could extend it like this, and then, it just could like go up and then come back down again, and then down, up, and then maybe up again, down again. It could just continue. Does it make sense, right? So as long as we stay below this red line, we wouldn't want to think about getting in, because you never know how low is low. Does it make sense? All right, so this is probably a stock in a downtrend, which probably want to avoid buying. I mean, if you want to take like short positions on CFD and all that, you can check it out, but probably not a stock that we want to think about buying, because we are going against the trend, which is down for now. All right, unless we were to break above it. Yeah, for example, maybe one fine day, right? We were to go down, and then one fine day, maybe if we were to pump, all right, and yeah, we break above that rate resistance line right over here. Well, that could be a good thing. That could potentially lead the reversal, like what I mentioned for like Samuderashipping last year. Remember, we broke above it, and then the uptrend started, right? That's what we could look out for. But right now, it seems like a little bit weak. So maybe let's take a look at where you want to be careful. All right, let me take a look. For example, what would be the next support level? So for those of you who are asking, hopefully you're not thinking about buying, but if you are really going to buy, just be careful, guys. We may see some support right over here, around there. Let's see, maybe about $1.40, 140, 137. You can see that's where we have rebounded slightly over the past like 3 weeks. The 20 days moving average was like down. Now it's flattening out, but just be careful, as I say, guys, because the trend is down. If you were to break the 138, 140 level plus the 20 days moving average, the green line starts to like point down even more. Well, then unfortunately we can see more selling. Does it make sense? All right, so that's for Seatrium, a little bit more in the downtrend in the longer term, and also potentially in the short term as well, if we were to break the support level. All right, so that's for Seatrium. That's for Seatrium, stock number 8. All right, so I think we have pretty much come to the end. And how many of you want me to share with you guys one top stock that you can put in your watch list? Just type a T, type T for top, guys. If you want me to share with you guys one top stock that you can put in your watch list. So type a T for top, or you can also help me out. Just give me a like, share. All right, hit the like button, the share, the heart shape button. That would be really, really helpful as well. Okay, T. Thank you so much, Chi Seng. Good to see you. Hi, Edwin, Andy, Dixon, T, Wheeling, T, Cecilia, T. So let me go to share with you guys one of the top stocks that perhaps you could put in your watch list in the Singapore market. So what stock is this? Well, just now when I was looking at it, it was about 150 something. But I got a couple of alerts. Let me just show you what stock is this. That stock would be none other than Okay, let me show you what stock is this. Well, this stock will be none other than this YZJ Shipbuilding right over here. All right, YZJ Shipbuilding, you can see. That is where this is a stock I want to share with you guys. So let me go to draw some of the key support and resistance line right now. About $2.50. You can see that's where we have been trading below. Right over here. We have been trading below what we call the $2.50 25 cents. Sorry, above that $2.25, 2.20 support level. You can see, guys, right now that in terms of the longer term trend, we have been in an uptrend. This is one of the stocks that we have covered since like last year. I've shared with VIP clients of mine. As I say, guys, if you want to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp, make sure you check it out, right? Check it out. The link is right over here. I've just placed it in the chat again so that you can get some of these ideas much faster. But essentially, this is a uptrending stock. I mean, compared to what we covered just now, like Seatrium is like down, down, down. Obviously, this is what we call an uptrending stock. We want to think about getting in on stocks like this, but where can we potentially get in? Well, the first zone we get in would be right over here near a support level, maybe near that 220 to 225. But it seems like we have already rebounded from the support level. And right now, we are actually attempting to break the $2.50. So when I actually, just before the live call, about 10:30 a.m., it was like about 251 or 252. All right, but it seems like you've gone higher already. All right, now it's like 2.61, but you can see quite clearly, guys, that we are actually attempting to break the 250. So this resistance level, right, of course, the market has not closed yet. I mean, this is live, right? So the market is not closed yet. I'm not too sure what will happen tonight or tomorrow or next week. But as of now, we can see that these 250 would turn into what we call a new support level. So if we can stay above that 250, right? If you can stay above that 250 level, I think potentially that is where we can see more upside in terms of the uptrend continuing to a higher zone. So what could be the next upside targets? Well, let's take a look at the range right over here. It is about kind of like a 25 cents range. You can see this stock like do like a 25 cents range. Previously, when we were in March and April, same thing. You can see we started to see a bit of a consolidation as well, right? Look at this. Okay, let me just go back to like April and May. Right over here, you can see right over here, we saw a consolidation. Same thing. We saw what we call a consolidation. Something like this, right? It was, look at this, right? So it was like moving up and down, swing up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Boom! This thing happened. Can you see, guys? And of course, we started to push all the way up by about 33%. Does it make sense so far? And what happens is right now, I'm not too sure whether we are doing that, all right? But you can see right now, same thing. We're going up, down, up, down, up, down. Boom! Where can we potentially hit to, right? Can this thing right over here happen? Can we like shift it all the way from here to maybe to here, right? Well, that could potentially happen as long as we stay above that new $2.50 new support level. So upside targets, right? Based on the 25 cents range, maybe all the way to like $2.80 first, maybe 280. After 280, maybe to that $3 and psychological level, just to give a little bit of a allowance. That could potentially be the next upside targets for 𝐻𝐸𝐻, 𝐻𝐸𝐻 Shipbuilding, because the fact that we have broken the 250. So just now, as I mentioned, it was like 251, 252, but now it's like it's gone up a little bit higher. I've kind of like missed it already, right? But I wouldn't know you'll go up in this live call as I'm talking, but never mind, doesn't matter. Sometimes you do miss opportunities like this, but yeah. So this is one stock you can put in your watch list. I think potentially anything above 250, we could start to see a little bit more upside to 280 to $3. That is what you want to watch. All right. So that is pretty much the top stock that I'll share with you, and that would be 𝐻𝐸𝐻 Shipbuilding SGD. Okay, so that's it, guys. I think we have pretty much come to the end of this Ask Me Stock live session. Ask Me Any Stock. So maybe Bumi and Z can turn on the camera. We can just say bye to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us right over here. If you found some value, you got some value in this live session on YouTube and on Facebook, just give us a thumbs up. All right, give us a thumbs up. That'll be really helpful. And maybe just say bye in the chat so that we can acknowledge all of you for staying all the way here as well. All right. Thank you so much. We hope that you have found some value.
Thank you for staying all the way to the end.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ashu. Thank you. Thank you so much. See you guys the next live session again. So make sure you hit the follow button, guys, on YouTube. Hit the follow button as well. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook as well, so that when we go live, you will be notified as well. All right. Thanks, Chi-Seng, Bun Chin, Meng, Doreen, Xavier. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next live session. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and we will see you guys in the next live session. Thanks, Celia, for the insightful session. Thank you so much, Celia. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. See you. Signing off. Burbin, Z, and me, Joey, Choy, signing out. See you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.